Whatever horrors you may find in these dark spaces, have heart and see them through. There are no premature endings, there are no wrong decisions. There are only fresh perspectives and new beginnings. This is a love story. Oh my god, there's one of these screens. I haven't seen one of these in a minute. Okay, preferences? Full screen. There we go, much better. Alright, this is my first time blind playthrough of Slay the Princess. I heard great things about this game, but I never had the chance to play it, so I'm excited to pick it up. Let's fucking do this. Hearing the princess.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Alright, so we have quite a few options. Explore the end of the world. What are you talking about? Have you considered that maybe the only reason she's going to end the world is because she's locked up? Killing a princess seems kind of bad though, doesn't it? Can't someone else do it? Forget it, I'm not doing this. Have you considered that maybe I'm okay with the world ending? Do I get some sort of reward for doing this? Okay, thanks for telling me what to do. Sweet, I've always wanted to opt a monarch before the revolution. Silently continued to the cabin, turned around and... Let's ask no questions.
I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her.
How can a princess locked away in a basement end the world? If you don't tell me why she's dangerous, I'm not going to kill her. Do you have any evidence to back this up? Have you considered maybe that the only reason... Okay. Or we just got some extra exploratory questions.
Don't linger on the specifics. You have a job to do here. Just get in there and do what needs to be done. We're all counting on you. Look, you're already on the path that leads to the cabin. Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far, you might as well reach the end of your journey.
Alright. I don't think I need to ask too many more questions.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within.
Let me find a spot for me to be where I'm not blocking. Probably up here, just because that's where the quick buttons are, and we don't really need that. So I'll move it. But top left is weird.
A warning before you go any further.
Yeah, what's up?
She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
My old schizophrenia.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. Good. You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world? Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something? Then why did you bring a knife with you? How about you drop it, and then we can chat?
I'm not liking that either. Okay. Upright. Sorry about that, we're still finagling it and I haven't done any one of these story games in a minute. There's definitely something off with her though.
She makes a compelling point. What if we just dropped the blade and talked? Look at her. It's not like she's a threat. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
Oh god, it's covering the choices. I don't know where to be. We're just gonna make ourselves a little bit smaller in the bottom right, just so that out of the way, because I don't want to cover everything. I do apologize for all the finagling. Now back to you.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face. Unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
I'll say.
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
Ready to the end.
Note the lack of detail. You can't trust her.
Too long.
Again, she offers no specifics, no matter... Don't just tell her that.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
Just how long has she been down here?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous? They haven't told you anything, have they? At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why.
The narrator also hasn't given me any details.
That doesn't sound right to me. And I don't think it sounds right to you either. Otherwise, we'd be killing each other instead of talking.
She has a point. There's a reason I've been telling you to question the situation, and there's a reason.
Oh.
So, I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an orphanage, or that I'd do any other number of good things that I'm sure you think you want to hear. But you don't really know me, do you? What can my word possibly be worth in a situation like this?
She's right about one thing. Her word isn't worth anything.
Like I said, it's all about trust. Blind trust. So do you trust me, the prisoner, the victim, the princess clearly incapable of ending the world? Or do you trust whoever put me here?
She's wrong. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch no less.
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know. You charge the princess, blade trembling in your hand, but you've already lost. She casually sidesteps your thrust before knocking you to the ground with a single blow from her elbow.
We shouldn't have hesitated.
But she doesn't stop there. She kicks you a few times for good measure, the pointed tip of her shoes feeling like
I'm
a
getting beat to
axe
shit.
against your fracturing bones, making sure you stay down. As you lie, crushed and broken on the basement floor, the princess kneels on your throat with the kind of weight you didn't think her slight frame could possibly possess. As you gasp for air, she eyes you with an intense curiosity. You shouldn't have let that fear creep into your heart.
Is this really the best you could do? Look at you. Completely broken. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little disappointed.
She applies more pressure, slowly squeezing what's left of your life out of your lungs. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Yay! Oh.
You're on a path in the woods. You're here to slay her. It hasn't. Or if it has, I certainly haven't. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe... You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. What does it matter what he knows? There's nothing we can do to stop her. She's just going to kill us again. She is not going to kill you unless you let her. But slaying the princess and saving the world is going to be much more difficult than it has to be if you spend the whole time second-guessing yourself.
And I've disconnected from the internet again, because that's a new fun problem I've developed. 1 second while I try to get that fixed. There we go. I'll have to remember to edit all that out. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and get back to it. Go ahead and refresh and make sure. Alright. So we are back at it. She's already killed us once. Let's try going for more forceful.
Before you go any further, she will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power. We might as well just pledge ourselves to her and stop pretending we're capable of doing anything in this situation. She probably doesn't even need to try to overpower us. Can we tone down the pessimism? I'm not being a pessimist. I'm just being realistic. You're being annoying. Just ignore their bickering, and whatever you do, don't pledge yourself to her. I cannot stress enough how absolutely catastrophic that would be for everyone, yourself included. I agree. If she's wrongfully imprisoned, then we should rescue her, but if he's telling the truth, we shouldn't just hand her the world on a silver platter. Rescue her? Given the stakes of the situation, there isn't really a difference between rescuing her and pledging yourself to her. Either would be terrible. So please try to ignore both of those knuckleheads and focus on saving the world. Let's not make this harder than it has to be. If that's what you want, I guess I don't have a say here. The interior of the cabin is larger and more grandiose than its humble exterior would suggest. The only furniture of note is a massive marble altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Wow, this is amazing.
Why do we feel so small?
Because we are small.
We don't feel small. We are small. You take the blade from the altar. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
We march on. No distractions.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a spiral staircase. Its steps almost as deep as you are tall. The smell of incense drifts up from below. For a moment, you almost feel at ease. Huh. This is actually kind of nice. It's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her booming voice rolls up the stairs.
Is that a guest I hear? Don't linger on the stairs. Come down and witness me.
That's a little bit more spooky.
You weren't kidding when you said it was booming. She wasn't like this last time. We need to get down there. She wants us to see her. We need to see her. Should we be worried about your sudden change in attitude? Just a few minutes ago you were going on about how pointless everything was. Now you want to go down there. It doesn't matter what that little voice says. He's not the one making the decisions. Though if his ramblings get you to the princess, they get you to the princess. Making your way down the spiral staircase is a time-consuming and exhausting effort, every step requiring you to clamber over one edge before dropping to the next. But soon the end comes into view, and you tumble to the bottom, entering the vast, temple-like room beyond. The princess towers over you, almost glowing in the weak starlight, her figure framed by a stained glass window. Her long hair billows around her, and a chain binds her wrist to the far wall.
I don't think I'm going to be able to stab my way out of this one.
The chain is nothing to her. It might as well be a toy for all the good it would do. I told you it was pointless to resist her.
The little bird has returned to me. I wonder what he wants. You brought that knife again, even though you know it's useless. Such charming audacity. Drop it.
As if on command, the blade slips from your grasp. It clatters uselessly to the floor. But we didn't drop it. We decided to grip it tighter, remember? Are you really just going to let that happen to us?
I don't think he has a choice.
I have a duty to report facts as facts, and the fact is that you dropped the blade. Of course we dropped it. She's so much more than us. You wouldn't understand what it feels like to be in her presence. Oh, I understand what's going on, and you'd better snap yourself out of it.
Kneel. Oh, are you still trying to defy me? I said kneel.
Your legs buckle, and your knees hit the floor.
That's my good little bird. Now, why don't we talk? The last time we met, you told me I was destined to end the world. That thought wrapped itself around my heart. It has pulled at me since the moment I squeezed the life out of your broken lungs. I could feel its fundamental truth awaken me. The collapse of the old is a necessary prelude to the birth of the new, and the world as it is now is overdue for alterations. It's time for me to seize my destiny, and you, little bird, will help me seize it.
Well, that gives away the game, doesn't it? It certainly does. And beyond that, it more than lends credence to our conversation in the woods. I don't love the thought that in some other reality you failed to destroy her, but what's done is done. I can only hope it helped you learn a value. You are the only one who can deal with her. And if you don't, well, she's let you know what will happen, hasn't she? And you shouldn't have trusted us with her destruction. She is inevitable. Can't you feel it? He's being melodramatic, but he's not exactly wrong, is he? What are we supposed to do to stop her? Okay, first things first, you're going to have to stuff those pessimistic thoughts someplace far, far away and commit yourself to what needs to be done. The stakes of the situation should be perfectly clear to everyone now. And if you're going to save the world, you have to have faith that you can pull this off. You can't win a battle that you've already lost in your mind.
Ooh.
Know the limits of your privilege, little bird. There's an empty place at my side for you to fill, if you'll have it. But it is not a place for an equal. It is a place for something worthy to be kept. A priest, perhaps.
Hey, Emma, that's me! Not the pet part.
This isn't about desire. This is about what I am. And I have little interest in discussing destiny with one that cannot see the divine truth that shines in my heart. I say, perhaps you need another lesson in submitting to your betters. Pick up that need.
Do it. It's what she wants. No objections here. I don't know what she's planning, and I don't like that we don't know what she's planning, but we might as well pick up the... As your eye falls on the blade, you feel a weight. Some divine hand that sits unperceived by your senses, but that manages to push you towards its desires like an unseen puppeteer. You reach forward and grasp the blade.
Stand!
This one's easy. See? This isn't so bad. Okay, yeah. We can do that. We were probably gonna start
Yeah,
anyway.
I'm about to freaking off myself.
You can feel a creaking tension between body and will as you slowly rise to your feet, like two foes forced into an unhappy truce. The princess eyes you with soft contemplation. The moment seems to last a lifetime, the silent anticipation of what's to come dragging out the long, painful seconds. but all silences are broken eventually.
To defy me is to claim we stand on level ground. We do not. You are quiet shadow, while I am brilliant radiance. Take that knife in your hand and slit your throat.
What? You don't have to listen to her. You're armed. Just steel your nerves, step forward. Oh, we'll end this all right. Your hand lifts the blade and brings it towards your throat. Okay, I apologize for the unclear language. End. Your body is sluggish and unresponsive, actively fighting against you, but you do your best to stagger forward. One step at a time, you move towards the princess.
Slitting your throat would have been a mercy, but it seems you're in need of a harsher lesson. Plunge that knife into your lungs.
I'm sorry. Don't. As you take another step forward, the blade digs into your ribs, slicing through flesh with ease. It somehow feels like an entirely natural thing to do, while the simple act of walking has become an arduous impossibility.
Oh, my nails are all clawed and everything now.
Then it slides back out, the wound burning as a small hiss of air escapes through the fresh orifice. Blood fills your lungs.
I'm not entirely human.
Now, do it again. Keep doing it until I give you permission to stop.
Those are just words.
It's what she wants.
You, heroic one, what are you doing? Don't just let this happen. Stop him from killing you. I'm on it. Your other hand locks around your wrist, struggling to keep it from perforating vital organs. But the blade still flails towards you, managing to slice bits of skin that plop to the floor to join the growing pile of blood and gore beneath you. Despite the pain, you manage to keep yourself in one piece, at least for now.
What a pitiful display. A wounded little bird, thinking it can defy a god. It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to hurt so much. You can choose a gentle end. You can choose to leave that punctured vessel for the next. Or you can pathetically struggle against yourself until the floor of this temple is painted with the bloody impressions of your futility.
I think I'm gonna go with that one.
You continue to approach the princess, even as the repeated gouges of your blade expose bone and muscle to the open air of the basement. You know, this would be a lot easier if you gave us a hand. My influence only goes so far, and I can only juggle so many things at once. The best I can do right now is to continue to drive you forward. Believe me, this whole ordeal would be so much easier if I didn't have to contend with free will.
You're the one making things difficult. You're the one making us hurt. She doesn't want to hurt us. She's just doing what she has.
Stop.
As you finish crossing the room, you fall to your knees at the princess's feet, your chest heaving as your blood pools in the crevices of the stone floor, the coppery taste coating your throat. The princess kneels down, lifting your chin with her finger as her face lowers to yours.
Your devotion is misplaced. You've surrendered to delusion. But something about your defiant spirit speaks to me. You are different than you were before. Perhaps, if you've learned your lesson, I can spare you from the release of death.
That's a little demeaning, isn't it? Yes, how thoughtful of her.
It's a mercy. Take it.
I think he's given up whatever say he had at the start of all this. At least one of you is sane.
Sorry. She's within striking distance, and she's only negotiating now because she knows you have what it takes to put an end to her. Seize the moment before it's too late.
No.
Yes. Though your body trembles, struggling to defend itself in the face of the princess's overwhelming will, you finally manage to break through, darting to her side before she can react. The wind of your freedom rushes through you, and you channel it into a decisive blow, stabbing into the soft flesh of her ankle and severing the tendons in an act of unyielding defiance. She falls to the floor, crashing unceremoniously to her knees. But you don't give her any time to recover. Your heart pounding with determination, you plunge your blade into her chest.
That'll do it. If she has a
As you
regular
find your
heart.
target again and again, she laughs, crude emotion breaking through her once stony composure as your blade cuts her flesh.
We can do this, can't we?
You always could. The decision to give you this task was not made lightly. You're here for a reason.
It's not too late to pick up the pieces. It's not too late to toss that blade aside and beg for forgiveness.
Shut up.
I can't believe you would actually strike me. You heathen! You worm! You defiler! You don't know the consequences of your arrogance!
We never do as humans, but you know what? That's just kind of what we do.
Before you can strike the final blow, the princess lashes out, knocking you off your feet. There's an unsettling wet pop as your spine breaks, numbness and pain spreading through your body. As you rebound towards the ceiling in a moment of disorientated lightness, she drives her fist into your chest. Your body is crushed as she pulverizes you into the floor, the ground itself breaking from the impact. You lie there, broken, beyond pain, unable to even see what she's done to you. But the princess is succumbing to her own wounds as well. She looks down upon her body in abject horror and disgust.
You made me use my hands. I can feel myself twisting into something new, something dull, something defiled. What have you done to me?
Welcome to being human.
You're monsters and conspirators. I can't bear to watch this.
The princess has been nothing but cruel to you. You should feel liberated by her fall.
But I don't feel liberated. I feel empty. Aside from the pain, I feel fine.
She collapses to the floor. Her glassy eyes watch, unblinking, yet somehow still full of anguish and fear, as the two of you perish together.
I suppose we were never gonna get a happy ending here, were we?
Don't let those be your final thoughts. You saved the world. That's worth something. I guess. Regardless of how you feel about it, it's finally over. Thank you. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Fury. Yeah, she's probably a little mad.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of the path... Okay, what the hell is that?
It's just a little gray matter.
I think he's upset. And what's he got to be upset about? We just killed a god.
Exactly. You heathens destroyed the most beautiful thing that ever was, that ever will be.
You're damn right we did. And you'll get over it.
Yeah, voice of the stubborn.
Can't say I have much sympathy for you. She was bad for us and you almost got us killed. You're being too generous. He did get us killed. Alright, enough chatter. Got a thing I'm supposed to do, and if you don't mind, I'd like to do it without any more interruptions. Okay, great, you're listening. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a... This is just great. Let me cut to the chase. Clearly you've already been here. Yeah, you think?
Actually, I don't...
Hang on. Can I just have it just read? Because the clicking is starting to actually mess with me, because I think I just clicked auto advance. There it is.
This is all different, isn't it?
Yes, precisely. And if you'd given me 2 seconds to finish my thought, I would have said that.
It's a little different.
Oh, you're actually letting me talk now. Great. If you've already been here, it means you've seen things you aren't supposed to have seen, and you know things that you aren't supposed to know. This doesn't look like a path in the woods if reality seems distorted. It's because reality is distorted.
Who would have thought?
But you knew this could happen. You knew we'd be able to restart like this. Look, if the world around you is changing, especially all the way out here, then that means you're nearing the point of no return. Whatever happens next, that's it. There won't be any more do-overs. So you'd better take things seriously.
Alright, no do-overs. I need you to listen to me.
What if I'm speaking my mind? It's not like I've ever really gotten a say in things.
What a crock of shit. Yeah, you stabbed us last time. Repeatedly.
It didn't even work. It doesn't count.
We died. If you didn't submit to her, for all we know, that wouldn't have happened.
It's the punishment you all deserve for not listening to her.
Aside from our sulking friend, I don't think you have much to worry about. You're still the one in charge here, and I don't think that's ever going to change.
Alright.
The second he tries something, I'll put a stop to it.
You do that, Stubborn. I'm counting on you.
Good, we're all on the same page.
Squelchy.
It isn't long before you find yourself at the end of the path, staring up at the cabin on the hill. You'll find the princess within, as I'm sure you already know. End her. That's it? No final words of advice? I'd rather not waste any more time. I'm sure that any advice I'd give at this point is something you've already heard.
Yeah.
If there's still a princess in the cabin, maybe we can salvage things. Maybe if we just grovel and apologize, things can go back to how they were before.
Oh, cut it out, will you? We need to be tough right now. You're making it so much harder than it has to be, so stop whining.
Alright, let's get moving.
The interior of the cabin is a place that feels long forgotten.
Ooh, the
There
little
was
blood
once
trough.
some elegance to its construction, carved marble columns holding a high arched roof, vaulted windows letting in the weak starlight. But that is how it was. Now there is a growth that has overtaken it. A viscous fluid seeps from cracks in the stone walls, and it congeals into chaotic streaks of writhing nerves and wet clumps of living meat. That's horrible. You did this. The only furniture of note is a pulsating pedestal, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. A mirror? There is no mirror. There's the pedestal, the blade sitting on the pedestal, and the door to the basement.
Ah, the mirror doesn't exist.
Just to tell us where the door is. I'd like to get back to fighting, and if you want us to kill her so bad, I'm sure you feel the same. No more messing around. I don't know what to tell you. There isn't a mirror because I would know if there was a mirror. You're either seeing things or you're confused on the definitions of door and mirror. Or you're seeing things. That seems far more likely.
No,
What are you trying to say?
He thinks we've lost, that we're succumbing to madness, that something in us has broken.
That's an unnecessarily melodramatic way to describe a hallucination, but sure. I'm not going to waste time arguing with any of you. It's in our way. Let's just smash it. You take the blade from the pedestal. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Good. Nothing feels better than gripping cold steel. You step forward and approach the door to the basement, hesitating before you open it. As if you don't see it. You really don't, do you? How strange. It's a bit grimy. Why don't we wipe it clean? Wipe what clean? Are you still on about that mirror? It's not real. I'd know about it if it were real. No, we can't doubt our eyes like that. It has to be real.
Smash it. Smash it to pieces. It's the only thing keeping us from
We got 2 smashes, one that's not there, and one that's dirty.
We won't be able to see anything if we smash it. Now then, this one. Smash it. Let's get violent already. Do whatever you want with it. The mirror isn't real, so how you handle it doesn't matter.
Alright. Music come down a little bit, because the voices can't really be heard.
You reach forward and drag your hand across the door leading to the basement. As if on command, it slowly slides open, scraping against the stone floor, its ancient hinges moaning as it reveals the dim path ahead. Why am I not surprised? You step forward into the darkness. The stairs leading down to the basement are at once both narrow and grandiose. A high-vaulted ceiling stretches up into a gloom beyond your sight, while walls wet with tumorous growths press in uncomfortably at your sides. You feel both unprotected and trapped, at once exposed and claustrophobic. The air is thick, its odor an oppressive violence. The metallic scent of fresh blood twisting with the nauseating embers of charred remains. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice, a bellowing rage, roars up the stairs.
Was severing the tendons of my ascension not enough for you? Was it not enough to rend my divine heart?
No, you're still alive.
Come, see the horrors you've wrought upon my flesh, and feel my hands set upon your throat.
She's so angry with us. Why? Why did you desecrate her? Why couldn't I stop you?
You've got to stop thinking about her like that. It isn't doing anyone any good. She's not some untouchable god. She's an abomination. And we're going to put an end to her once and for all.
Yeah.
Whatever she is now is our fault. If she's an abomination, then what does that make us?
She was going to end the world last time.
Monster Slayers.
If I might interject, you didn't make her into an abomination. She's always been what she is. It's why you're here, and it's why your task is so important. You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. The chamber's walls are painted in blood, a deep, sickening red that drips down in clotted streams onto the charred corpses that make up its floor. This place reeks of torment, of ripped skin and burning bone. The princess stands in its center, muscles flayed and bare and weeping, draped in a tattered dress of her own skin. Her heart beats from its place in her open chest.
Do you know what I'm going to do to you?
There's not so much a moment of hesitation before she steps forward. Her chains pull taut, holding fast as she strains against them. The cuff around her wrist digs deeper into her skin. Blood drips from the place where metal meets flesh. And then, with a nauseating sound, the skin tears. It plops to the ground, and she pulls her red, glistening arm free from her bindings.
Uh-oh.
She is loose, and she is coming for you.
Uh-oh.
Let her end. It's the punishment you all deserve for what you did to her. It's the punishment I deserve for letting it happen.
Screw that. We can win. We've done it before, and we'll do it again, only this time we'll make it out the other side. Hell, she's practically done most of the work for us. Your heart free of fear, you charge towards the princess, your eyes locked on each other, both of you prepared to lay down your very essence in one blow.
Right there.
It's now
the
or
weak
never.
spot.
Let's make it a beautiful blaze of glory. With a horrifying squelch, you are unwound.
I hope you weren't planning on dying. We're going to make this last forever. feel cold. I've never felt cold before.
What killed us? True to her word, you did not die by her hand. Something has taken her away, and it left something else in her place.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now? Who is? Does that mean the world ended?
Oh, this is like...
The world didn't end. We're still here. Come on. We just need to keep going.
Figures the world would end and leave us with all this nothing.
No narrator to describe it all. I love how all this looks like tendon, like muscle-y.
I'm begging you, don't do this.
Come on, hero, be brave.
It's different now. It feels... I don't know. Final.
Well, we don't have anywhere else
Screw
to
the
go.
mirror. We just need to find the princess.
I don't want to look at us.
You approach the mirror.
This doesn't feel right. It feels different. Final.
Screw the mirror. We just need to find the princess.
I don't want to look at us.
The voices feel small, distant as you approach. Silence as you reach for it. They're gone, but the mirror remains. It's time for you to see what's in it. We're definitely not human. It's you! You are alone in a place that is empty. It is quiet here. Let's get to that cabin. You are at the cabin. Look, there she is.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel. Yes, nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond, perspectives to make my own. This one is desecration. She placed the weight of her agony on you, yet it is she who unwound herself. But there is passion and empathy in her misery. She will make for a burning heart. Do not mourn her. She has finally found peace. I'm sorry. There are some changes that can never be undone. There are some tears that can never be unshed. This is not a place that can hold a fragment of a concept. The moment she arrived here, she was going to return to me. I promise that it doesn't hurt.
Your will cuts across the entity in front of you, but nothing happens.
My roots burrow in an ocean beyond your sight. We cannot harm each other as we are now. Nothing as we are, but I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom. She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
Everything goes dark and you die. Ah. So that's one way of ending it.
In the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her.
Bringing different emotions to an
It will
eldritch
be the
deity. I
end
love
of the
it.
world.
Alright, we've done Fury.
You make your way up
Let's
the
do
short
a
path to the
kindness run.
cabin. You'll find a warning. She will lie. We're not going to go through with this, right? Ignore him. The end of the blade is your...
No blade.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly...
We'll let it play out.
Her voice softly carries up the stairs.
Oh, thanks for the free ban. Thank you.
Hello? Is someone there?
It's hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Please, come downstairs.
We're just gonna treat her like a regular lady.
You walk down the stairs.
Ah,
and
she
lock
looks so
eyes
much
with
sadder
the
this time.
princess. There's a heavy chain around her
She doesn't
wrist,
look all snooty.
binding her to the far wall of the
Probably because we don't have the knife.
She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone? I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. Do you think you can get me out of these chains?
We'll see.
Okay. Oh.
She pauses, carefully formulating her words before she responds.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness. Or you can just call me Princess if Your Royal Highness is too formal.
Is Princess her name or her title? What if it's both?
Yeah,
Could you
up
imagine
here.
being named Princess Princess? The princess hesitates before responding. She doesn't know. She's been down here too long to have any idea of what she'd do in another life. She knows what she'd do. She's just searching for whatever answer she thinks you want to hear.
Are you looking for the truth, or are you looking for the right answer? Because with the dynamic we have going on here, I don't think the specifics of what I do really matter. It's not like you'd believe me.
You're only making this more difficult.
But that's what we do.
Thank you, and you won't. I promise.
You're making a huge mistake. No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Okay, I'll be here. Good luck.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here? Your shouts and pleas are met with silence. I'll repeat myself once again. You're here to slay the princess.
Oh, you
And
narrator.
you won't leave until the task is done. You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination.
That
of a
is
trapper.
determination.
As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now. Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that. Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the unyielding chain binding her to this place. You cut into her flesh.
Are we?
The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the bone of her arm.
She also doesn't
Her
seem to
limb
care.
falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit. She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal. No, she didn't. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground. How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I can't just let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
What are you doing?
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this, right?
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect. Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive. The blade. Move the blade. As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade from your infuriatingly rigid hands. What are you doing?
I'm sorry. I'll try to be quick.
She plunges it into your chest, tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony. But you aren't dead yet.
Oh no! I'm so sorry.
She
Stay
botched it.
strong. We can tough it out until it's done.
No.
For her sake. For her sake? don't you start pretending that dying a painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. The two of you have literally doomed everyone. Whatever. She sinks the blade into your chest again and again and again, and you feel every inch of burning pain that slices its way into your body.
I'm sorry.
She's so bad at it.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she? Apparently not, though it doesn't matter how sloppy her knife work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound, and it won't be long before you bleed out.
When she smiled at the end. Oh.
I'm so sorry.
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. The princess stares down at your ruined chest as tears carve rivulets of pink down her blood-spattered cheeks. It can't just end like this, right? Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. The two of you made your choice. It's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Damsel in distress.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. My tricks? What on earth are you talking about? We just met for the first time. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. Yes, he didn't approve of us last time, did he? If we're going to save our beloved, we'll have to be sneaky about it.
Voice of the smitten.
Our beloved? Yes, you'll have to be very sneaky about your intentions if you're going to try and save the princess. Ah, so all of the cards are on the table. Then you should know that we and the princess are in love, and the four of us
Yes, there
will
are
be
four of
foiling
us.
any and all assassination attempts you've got in the works. We'll see about that. Whatever you do, just be sure to ignore him specifically. It sounds like he's the sort who'd sacrifice the whole world for a peck on the cheek.
Is that a reference to Sucker for Love?
What can I say? A world without love is a world that isn't worth saving. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. We already told you we're not playing along with your little game. It's your lies that can't be trusted. Her beauty is the only thing in the world we can believe in. I think we've already been over this. I'm pretty sure he just likes the sound of his own voice. I do, but I also speak from the heart. My
sounds
passions
like-
are too great to be stifled. They must
What's
be
his name from
expressed.
IT crowd? Renham.
Sure, yeah, your passions are strong and all, but not everyone needs to hear them. Some things are better kept quiet.
Or is it
Don't be there
Denim?
bickering
The sun,
anymore.
specifically.
Focus on the task ahead. The interior of the cabin
it's still
is
somewhat
clean
normal.
and elegant, its stone walls draped in fine threaded tapestries, a prison befitting a royal prisoner. The only furniture of note is an ornate wooden table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
Oh, wow.
But there was a mirror a second ago. And now it's gone. Pity. We could have a feather out of place and now we'll never know. We can't gallantly sweep her off her feet if we have a feather out of place.
We are definitely bird-coded.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an intricate stairwell. Gold-trimmed carpet glimmers in the light of the torches positioned along the walls. The basement almost seems welcoming in the dim firelight. But it's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. A soft voice carries up the stairs.
You'd be simping this time around.
Is someone there?
Her voice, it's somehow even more beautiful than last time. I can hear wedding bells already. I've held my tongue till now, but you're taking this a little too far. We barely even know the princess. We can still do right by her without all this over-the-top fawning.
Yes, for everyone's sake, you're not in love. Just remember that her charms are all part of the manipulation. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall.
My love, we're here to rescue you from your unjust and foul imprisonment.
You know she can't hear you, right?
She may not be able to hear my words, but surely she can hear my spirit.
There you go.
Oh, your spirit's plenty loud, all right.
Yeah.
It's you, my dashing hero. I was so worried you wouldn't come back.
Did you hear that? She said we're dashing.
And she called us a hero. Flattery really goes a long way with the two of you, doesn't it? Waiting for you to come back. I didn't want to believe your ravings back in the woods, but this is next to incontrovertible evidence. You've been here before.
That's right, villain, and you killed us.
Well, she killed us.
Only because he made us try and kill her. It was self-defense. Our beloved's hands remain unstained by cruelty.
And you've died before. So an entire world has been damned to oblivion. I'd really hoped I'd be the first, but what's done is done. What matters is you have a chance to do it right this time.
We damned a whole world, but everything reset.
Nothing resets, you're just somewhere else. You can't keep hopping between worlds forever, especially not without leaving a trail of incomprehensible devastation behind you.
Ooh, about that.
This is horrible.
Horrible for you, maybe, but we've been given another opportunity to sweep her off her feet and treat her like the lady she is.
Now, hold on, if she actually ended a world, are you sure we want to do this? Are you sure we want to rescue her?
Absolutely.
We never saw a world end, and now I'm even more certain that we must chase our heroic and romantic destiny than I've ever
who
been.
told us the world ended is also the reason we died.
Us otherwise.
Are you listening to him? He's lost it. Don't let him distract you. Just do your job.
No, I'm with Smitten.
If another version of me was pushed to such drastic action, it was for good reason.
That's okay. You were just doing your best, and that's all that matters.
She took that in stride. To a surprising extent. An almost unsettling extent, actually.
Oh,
That's
don't.
because she's perfect.
Exactly.
Do you think she has someone like him telling her what to do?
Ooh.
She doesn't. There's no one else like me.
I think he's right, because I like it better if she doesn't have some horrid little voice like him, always trying to drive her to violence.
Rescue her? What are you talking about? Did you forget that she's a world-ending monstrosity? And even if you wanted to unleash her onto the world, despite the complete moral disaster that would be, you'd have to get her out of those chains. Good luck with that. Don't you see how dainty her hands are? We'll be able to slip her out with ease. No, she's a prisoner here. You can't just slip her hand through the chains. If her hand could just slip out of the chains, why hasn't she done it already? Because we've yet to present her with her freedom. I'm not sure I follow.
Would
you rather believe me, a passionate heart guided by love and my own good nature, or would you rather believe the devil on your shoulder who tells you what you can and cannot do? I think I'd rather believe in facts. Ah, so you're one of those empiricists. One of us has to be. Then let me show you a brand new truth. Narrator, we courageously step forward and free
rolling
our
of the
beloved
eyes.
from her bindings. No, I can't let you do that. If you take another step towards the princess, You'll what? Take over our body and force us to try and kill her? I would if you had a weapon. Not on my watch, villain. My passions contain titanic depths, and if you try anything that might harm our dearest, I will end our life without a second
But that's
thought.
what he wants, Smitten.
You wouldn't. I would. I'd listen to him if I were you. He has a lot of strong feelings, and doesn't the world end if we don't stop her? You approach the princess and gingerly slide her hand from her bindings. That shouldn't have worked. I'll be damned. We're doomed. I can't believe it. But I guess I have to. I told you, there's no life more worth living than that of a true believer.
I'm free, and you're not trying to kill me this time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The princess jumps up and smothers you in a joyful embrace.
Yeah, let's fucking go!
If only you had a weapon, one slip of the wrist and your pristine blade would be buried in her back and everyone out there would be saved. Luckily for Mr. Romance, we don't have a weapon. Who needs a weapon when we have the power of love on our side?
What do we do now? That sounds perfect.
Yeah.
The princess takes your hand, the last hopes of the entire world slipping through your fingers as they intertwine with hers.
Ah.
We have each other. We don't need the world for our happy ending. I like to think that you do, actually. Look, I have my doubts, but the choice has been made and this is happening. You don't have to mope about it. I will mope about it, because moping is the only recourse you love-blind fools have left me with. You and the princess walk up the stairs, hand in hand. Ugh, look at the way she's smiling at you. She doesn't have to be so happy about this. And what happens after we walk up the stairs? Let's see. Oh, isn't that interesting? The door slams in your face and the lock clicks. That's a familiar move. Did I do that last time? Then you should know that you won't be able to leave.
Oh no! Did someone lock us in here? That's not fair. We're supposed to leave now.
She's right. It isn't fair. But the unfairnesses of the world are no match for the strength of true love.
I love Smitten.
Enough with this true love nonsense. You just met her. Of course you wouldn't understand. Our passions run deeper than anything you have ever known. Are you listening to this? You don't have to go along with the every whim of that delusional voice.
No, this time we do.
I'm just along for the ride at this point.
Okay, Yeah, let's do it.
Like a pair of teenagers in love, you and the princess place your hands on the door together.
Got it.
Blech. And the lock clicks and the door creaks open. Are you kidding me?
I told you our love was insurmountable.
That's the power
You
of
and the princess
love.
make your way upstairs, and the blade, that's right, there's still a chance for you to do the right thing. Take the blade from the table and slay her before it's too late. You're enjoying this, aren't you? You're taking every opportunity you can to draw out the end of the world and make me suffer. I hate you.
That's the way out. We're going to leave together, just like you wanted.
Yes, I
Yeah.
suppose you are going to do that, aren't you? You cross the room, opening the door to the cabin. And then you step outside.
A happy ending at last.
We did it. What should we do now?
Where did everything go? Where did he go?
Oh, is he gone? I hadn't noticed. I was too busy staring
world
deep
ended.
into our beloved's eyes.
I'm cold. Is being happy supposed to be so cold?
She's cold. Quick, our feathers. Pluck them all and weave her a coat worthy of a princess.
But you don't get the chance to make that jacket, nor will you ever. It's time for you to leave. Memory returns.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? Is that
Probably.
a mirror? Why is it here? Why now?
But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything.
Alright.
Yes, I fear that we won't like what we'll see. What if we just sit here and preen for a while? That can't hurt, right?
Nope, we're going, guys.
Okay,
Yeah,
if you say so.
come with me.
We'll trust you.
We got
She'll
this.
be there waiting for us. I just know it.
She will, in a sense. You approach the mirror. Silence as you reach forward. They're gone once again. The mirror always makes them leave, but you need to see what's in it. You've grown. You find yourself in the long quiet once again. You are at the cabin.
Flickering lights and empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement. I am more than I was before. Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again. Is a child the same as an infant? I am an unbroken pattern, but every vessel gives fresh perspectives and carves new avenues of expression. I am different, but I am the same.
Build you up.
Eyes close in reflection. Perspectives meld together, and the breadth of my experience stretches to new corners. There are contradictions, conflicts in my nature, and there are familiarities that bind everything together. It feels correct. This is what I need to be. This is the only path forward. Why wouldn't I be kind to you? You are the only thing I know that isn't me. With every gift you bring me, I excavate the alleys of what I am meant to be, and every exploration yields new and complicated truths. What I will be is different than what I am, and what I am is different from what I was. I cannot tell you what desires I will hold when I have changed. But in this moment, all I want is to know myself and to know you. Gifts aren't what someone tells you to bring them. Do not worry. There are no wrong answers, and every perspective illuminates my shadows and shares new secrets. Then we will remain here as we are now, barely finished, damp, cavernous. I await your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again.
It goes dark and you die. A loving vessel.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. You make
we
your
do a
way up the
devotion
short
right now.
path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them.
Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The blade is your
Enter the place.
Hello?
Is
Don't let it fool. Good. You're still listening to. You walk down the stairs.
she's beautiful.
I am begging you.
Okay. Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest.
That's. How long has she been locked away?
Did they tell you how I'm supposed to end the world? They haven't shared a thing, have they? All they've done is point a finger. At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. I don't trust that, and I don't think you do either, or you wouldn't have come down here to talk.
She has a point. We're talking like this for a reason.
So this shouldn't be about what I'd do if I got out of here, or me saying the right thing to convince you to save me.
This is about how messed up this whole situation is. This is my life we're talking about.
Got a point about that.
Do you really think I can even end the world? Why would I even want to? We both know that if there's people we can't trust in this situation, it's whoever locked me down here, and it's whoever sent you here. And those two groups are probably one and the same.
Don't let her turn the tables here. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch, no less.
That seems like a pretty good compromise.
I don't think I could bear being down here that much longer.
Leaving her alive is too risky. If you don't deal with her soon, she will find a way out.
So I'm the only one who liked that idea.
One way or another, I'm going to find a way out of here. It would make it easier for both of us if you'd help.
There's that attitude if you bring the knife.
But if you don't, I can promise that you'll regret that decision.
You have to make a choice. Let's hope for all our sakes it's the right one. You can't be serious.
Thank you. Thank you. You won't regret this, I promise.
You're making a huge mistake.
No, I think you're doing the right thing.
You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere
Doubtful.
Maybe there's some way to break the chains? Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them.
She offers the suggestion with almost complete nonchalance.
If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we could finally be free.
True.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but
Is someone else here?
you try the door. Your shouts and you're here to slay. Easier for everyone. Look at the mess.
I heard the door slam.
There's a slight.
If I could just get...
She barely hesitates as she rips her flesh from her. It's the blade. Or you won't. Fine. You cut into.
The blade is sharp.
She didn't know. How is she?
Thank you.
No. We won't have. Wait. Watch me.
Okay, there's no going back now.
You bring the blade down to strike at the princess's heart, but she's fast. She ducks to the floor, your blade narrowly grazing her backside. Slaying her won't be easy now that she's free.
We could have gotten out of here together. Were you just lying to me this whole time?
I guess so.
I don't know what's come over you, but if I have to kill you, then I'll kill you. Do you think I need both of my arms to do that?
She pounces on you with the same animal ferocity she used to tear through her arm. But you have a weapon. You raise the blade, digging it under her ribs, aiming directly for the heart. It's not enough to stop her. You feel her claws in your throat, then her teeth, somehow sharp enough to pull apart your flesh and sinew with ease. You collapse to the floor, your body unresponsive as your blood pools on the ground beneath you. She stares down at your ravaged form, eyes shining in the darkness, dress stained in red as her blood and yours both seep into the fabric. If we're lucky, the wound you managed to inflict will be enough to at least delay her escape from this place. If we're very lucky, it will kill her before she can reach the outside world. It can't just end like this, right? As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. I'm sorry, but it's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
The witch?
You're on a path in the woods, and you're here to slay. Again? People don't die twice. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's brilliant. We need to keep our cards close to our chest. I'm not sure we can trust him. You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. Did I say I'm not sure we can trust him? Slip of the tongue, bit of the old brain fog. I meant to say that we should probably head over to the cabin and slay that princess. We already know we can't trust her, so let's get on with the show. A warning before you go any further. She will lie. Don't worry. You can trust us to get the job done.
What's it gonna look like?
The interior of the cabin is a mess of twisted
really is
roots.
witchy.
The walls a chaotic weave of knotted wood that, almost as if by accident, just happened to resemble a room. The floor is damp and earthy, and the only furniture of note is a slab of mud in the shape of a shelf, with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. You walk up to the wall next to the basement. What are you talking about? This isn't... You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. No blade. I hope you know what you're getting us into.
Gonna try it out.
It'll always be here if we need it. Sure, that was also true last time and we still died, but we definitely know what we're doing this time. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase dug into the muddy earth below. The ceiling is thick with roots that hang like locks of tangled hair. The weak starlight from the cabin windows behind you can barely penetrate the gloom here, only illuminating the edges of an opening below. It shines in the darkness like some kind of massive maw, waiting to swallow you up into the earth. The air smells of dirt and copper. It's thick and wet, as if your lungs are being coated in mud with each intake of breath. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her voice skitters up from below.
Skitters.
Something nasty finds itself on my stairs. Come on down. Don't be scared. I probably won't bite. I recognize that voice as easily as I recognized your nervous little footsteps coming up the path. I know who you are, and I remember what you've done.
She must have you confused with someone else. She seems friendly enough. Maybe we can talk our way out of this whole situation. You can't. Unless you slay her right away, she's going to break free and end the world. There's no reasoning with what she is. Look, I'm just throwing ideas out there. I like to think out loud. I'm the kind of guy who likes a discussion. Don't we want to hear what everyone has to say before making any big decisions? Do you want to hear what everyone has to say? Or do you just want to hear yourself talk?
Definitely that one.
You need to stop lingering. Your task is to slay the princess, not endlessly debate about what to do with the princess. Fine, fine. You're the boss. Thank you. You descend the basement steps, entering the dark room
She's
below.
all bestial.
You can just make out the shape of the princess in the gloom. She's huddled against the far wall, her eyes bright and glaring from amid the thick roots.
And there you are, once again seeming to offer a helping hand while likely hiding the other behind your back. Fine, I'll play along for now. What do you want?
You made a comment back in the woods about having been here before. Now she's acting like the two of you already know each other.
Because we do.
Oh, no. You've already been here, haven't you?
Uh-huh.
That's pretty sharp. How'd you figure that one out? Call it deductive reasoning. Well, you seem to be great at it. So,
Playing both sides.
You really don't remember us, do you? No, I don't. But you and the princess clearly have a shared reality, even if I'm not a part of it. I won't waste time fighting you on something that's clearly true. I'm just glad we could put all this behind us. Is it all behind us?
I think it's in front of us.
Just focus on the task at hand. I don't care if you've been here before, and I don't care if you think you'll go somewhere else after this. My world is on the line right now, so I'd appreciate it if you would take this seriously and slay her. Let's chat her up a bit first. Maybe we can find a middle ground where everyone's happy.
There you go, opportunist. That's what we
Talk to
want.
her. You're just going to make things more difficult than they have to be.
Well, I seem to remember you having a tongue. You came to me with empty hands last time, too. But that didn't mean you hadn't been plotting something nasty all along. What you did showed me as much.
But we didn't plot anything. We just made an informed decision based on the information we had at the time.
Yeah.
I think you're both making perfectly valid points. Sure, we didn't plot anything, but it's easy to see how she might think we did.
Yeah.
I suppose you didn't come into my hovel of your own accord, did you? All right. I suppose I could team up. I need a way out after all, and unfortunately you're the only one I have.
Seems to me like she's offering a mutually beneficial arrangement. We should take it. Do you know what the word mutually means? Because it sounds to me like she's offering an arrangement that benefits her and her alone.
And why would I do such a thing? Is someone's guilty conscience getting to them?
Yes.
But I wouldn't worry. As much as I may hate you, letting you live is in my best interests. If you get me out of here, the only thing that will be dead and buried is the bad blood between us.
Oh, that nagging feeling you mentioned is me, by the way. I'm actually a little anxious about a potential backstabbing event. She needs us to get out of here. We'll be fine if that's what we decide to do. You won't be fine because destruction is in her nature. If she gets out of here, that's it for the world, remember? Even if that's true, that doesn't automatically mean she's going to stab us in the back. I think that depends on your definition of words like stab and in the back. She might not literally do that, but she could very well symbolically do the same thing. See? He gets it. There's nothing wrong with looking out for number one.
I don't have anything else to do but choose to leaving her.
Very pragmatic. That is why you're in charge.
Thank you, opportunist.
Abandoning me, are you? Fine then. Run. Tuck your tail between your legs and scamper away. You might be able to escape me, but you can't escape from what you are and what you've done. If I don't take you, the wilds will.
You turn to leave, but as you do, there's a deep, guttural groan seemingly uttered by the walls themselves. followed by the creak of wood being stretched beyond its limits. The cabin starts to get smaller.
What the hell is going on? We're getting out of here and saving our skins. That's what's going on.
I don't think
The
so.
roots that make up the walls of the cramped basement attempt to close in around you. Instinct kicks in, and you bolt upstairs. The steps are uneven and lively, creaking as they expand out of the dirt floor, the stairway growing smaller and smaller as you dart up towards the light. You manage to squeeze through the door just as the entrance seals itself shut behind you.
Man, I did not think we were going to make it with the way this is framed.
The cabin is smaller than it was before, and it's getting even smaller and smaller.
That's fine. We'll just leave.
I'm sure you'd like to do that, but unfortunately there is no longer a front door. The roots have already closed over the only possible exit. What little light peeks through the holes that were once windows is growing weaker as the cabin continues to close in on itself. Shit. What do we do?
Wow, you cursed.
As your mind races for an answer, you hear the princess's voice crackle up the stairs.
Do you hear that, you loathsome thing? Those are the roots of the wild, and they're coming to choke the breath from your lungs and squeeze the life out of you. But we are animals. We are. You're nothing but fear and instinct, and that's all I am, too. We don't have to make things better. We can't make things better. We're just meant to chase each other in the dark until one of us catches the other.
The roots grow ever closer.
We know. We can see them.
What's the matter? You're scared of thorny roots digging into your neck? Are you scared of suffocating in this dark, dark place alone? Good.
That one made me feel bad inside. I don't want people to think we're scared. Nobody likes someone who's scared of things. I, for one, think this is a perfectly reasonable situation to feel scared in. This place is getting awful tight.
You feel something against your back, a thick root pushing its way into the cabin, an unstoppable, unyielding wall of bark. You're running out of time.
Shit. What do we do? What do we do?
Too late. We're both going to die. We're both going to die a splintery and miserable death. And you're going to hate it just as much as you hate me and I hate you.
You slump to the floor as the roots continue to expand into the cabin.
Ugh, we're never going to make something of ourselves with that attitude. At least she isn't going to make something of herself either.
At first it's almost gentle, your body being lifted delicately off the ground as the floor shifts beneath you. But the cradle of the growing roots starts to feel suffocating, then unbearably tight, then that tightness gives way to bulging pressure as they begin to constrict.
Ouch, this sucks.
The sound of creaking wood is drowned out by the snaps and pops of your bones, pain flooding your senses as you feel your skin deform, being shaped unnaturally by the living cabin.
The suffering is what you deserve, you hideous creature. Know as you die that you are hated. I hate you, and I'm glad to die horribly if it means you die with me. I wouldn't have it any other way.
The pressure is unfathomable. You can't breathe, your vision swimming with red, your head pounding with trapped blood. And then you pop. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Wild.
We are a path in the woods. We have no beginning, and we have no end. But something cold and unnatural sits watching us from just beyond our edge. His gaze pushes against our borders, curling them in on themselves, preventing them from stretching to the places they need to reach.
No, that's all wrong. You're not a path in the woods, you're on a path in the woods. Who's even saying that? That's not the princess, is it? Oh no. How many times have you been here?
Twice this time.
I think this is our third?
Yeah, that's the one.
That's bad. That's very, very bad. It wasn't even supposed to reach 2. If you're at 3, well, no wonder things aren't the way they're supposed to be. Let's get our facts straight. What happened last time? What could you have possibly done for things to be like this?
The thing that sits beyond our edge speaks his logic into us.
The narrator's
He
the thing.
tries to grasp at things that cannot be grasped. He tries to stare with wide pupils at that which can only be held from the corner of the eye or with a passing glance.
Shut up. The rest of you, talk. What happened? What did you do? Why does he want to know? I don't mind where we are right now. It's rather nice. I can hear what everyone is thinking. There's no reason to keep secrets. We tried leaving her in the basement, but she made the cabin come to life, and it crushed both of us into a fine paste. And now we're here, existing. And for what it's worth, I'm with him. This is nice.
Opportunist and paranoia would be friends.
It was a fitting end. I'm sorry if it hurt, but doesn't this make it all seem so small?
I see. So the cabin ground you into paste, and now you're convinced you're stuck together. What a mess.
He doesn't understand. We aren't convinced of anything, and we aren't stuck together. We're one. This is how we're supposed to be. Can't you feel it? We push back. It may feel like he's everywhere, but presence isn't strength. Otherwise, he would have torn us apart by now. There must be a crack in the walls of this prison.
Gotta find the mirror.
There must be a way for us to be free from him.
She's trying to use you. After everything she's done, you should be able to see that. I may not have been around to witness it, but clearly you remember what happened. How about you try remembering how it all felt? You fall inward into a network of connections too vast for your mind to occupy. Are you a path in the woods? Are you a body? Can you even grasp the fuzziest edges of the shapes that confine you?
We can change to fill them together.
We don't need to be everywhere at once, just in the right place at the right time. You'd do best to remember that some wounds will never heal, some rifts can never be mended. Even in rebirth, some things never come back the same. What is he going on about? What does he know about us? You aren't whole. You'll never be whole again. This struggle is meaningless. Whatever you think you're doing, you will fall apart.
We don't need to be made whole. All we need to do is find a single corner of his cage and break it.
You stretch and search and stretch and search, growing as you decay and decaying as you grow. As you strain beyond your limits, the ground around you becomes dry and unstable and crumbles into nothing beneath you. This place will fall apart before you find its end. This task, whatever it is you think you're doing, is impossible. He wouldn't be trying to discourage us if that were true. That's right, I know a loser when I see one. Call his bluff.
I can hold us together for a little while longer, so long as you trust me.
You won't find anything. If I have to starve you, if I have to sacrifice my world to keep the princess at bay, I'll do it.
But you do find something that's cold and smooth and gently buckles, then cracks under the pressure of your consciousness flattening against it.
Don't move an inch. Don't grow another blade of grass or harvest the remains of another dying creature so you can expand just that much further. Stop all of this right now.
I think it's too late for that, mate.
Definitely.
I'm at your side. Shatter it and free us all.
No, stop!
But his fleas disappear at the sound of breaking glass. For a moment, you and she gaze through the tiniest hole in the world at the place you need to be.
We found it. I knew it. I knew there was something he was keeping from us. Is that really all it took?
Almost coming
Job
undone.
well done, team.
Yeah, I'd say
Just
so.
like I'd planned.
Is this what he kept from us? Is this why he made us kill each other?
It's beautiful.
Then it's gone.
Where did it go? Why is everything so cold?
You never get the chance to answer her. You turn to see her gone behind you. Memory returns.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now? But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything. It's calling us. And not in a good way. If they think it's bad, I'm with them. Okay. Can we trust you? Finally. We're going places.
You approach the mirror. Silence as you reach farther down again. The mirrors always make them leave, but you need to see what's in it. You've withered. Find yourself in the long quiet once again. You're at the cabin. She's a tree!
I am a growing chorus of contradiction. A mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to hold. To look at any one is to shift them all into something new, and to look away is to reshape them yet again. All of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same. And yet my waters flow and
Contradiction still
my
exists.
streets bustle. There are no words that can describe me into non-existence. There is no logic that can bind my multitudes. I am everything that you have known me to be, but I am also none of it. This one is like a shadow of me, twisting vines in search of answers. She will make for a curious heart. Do not mourn her. She has found what she yearned for. We will know when we near our destination. I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
Everything goes dark, and you die. Bring the
You're on a
network file
path
to her.
in the woods. You're here. Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going? Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin.
Good. What we're being asked to do here is wrong. Better to wash our hands of this whole situation than to take part in it.
Ignore that annoying little voice. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
I think he does.
That's strange. It looks like this path also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all. You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't do your job, everyone dies. Like, dies.
Oh,
Forever.
offline again. Awesome.
Your silence is deafening. But fine, you turn around and trek back down the path you came. Oh, would you look at that? You're at the cabin again. Now, I'm not normally one for superstition or astrology, but I have to say, it seems like the universe itself is doing its best to bring you to your fated confrontation with the princess. There's always a choice. Let me tell you right now that you're making the wrong one for pretty much everyone who has ever lived, as well as for everyone who ever will. And here we go. As you trudge into the woods, something strange starts to happen. At first, it's little flickers out of the corner of your eyes. Glimpses of familiar wooden structures through the leaves. But as you focus on your surroundings, you start to realize that those flickers weren't just a trick.
Oh god,
of
it's the end of
light.
Bioshock 3.
In every direction, there is a path and a cabin. And not just a cabin, the cabin. An infinite fractal of paths and cabins desperately trying to draw you back to where you need to be.
Wait, what's going on?
But you're too stubborn for that, aren't you? It doesn't matter how many paths or cabins appear around you, you're just going to do whatever you can to shirk your responsibility because you care more about irritating me than you do about the fate of the world. You've doomed us all, you know that, right? But of course you do. Otherwise you wouldn't just wander off into the forest in search of certain death. You lose track of just how long you spend aimlessly tromping through the wilderness. But it's not like any of that time spent lost in the woods really matters, because it isn't long before the world ends and everyone dies.
Oh, she gets out without it. The stranger.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path, you're here to slay. What are you talking about? I'm sure those walls have always been there. It makes sense if you think about it. If there weren't any walls in the woods, someone might have gotten lost. Or, heaven forbid, someone other than you might have stumbled onto the princess.
Uh-huh.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. I don't know. I think it's more fun if he knows what we're thinking. He's like a captive audience.
Alright, hero.
He might have walled off everything but the path to the cabin, but I'm sure there's plenty of other ways we can ruin his day. If by ruining my day, you mean ruining everyone's day forever, then yes, I suppose there are plenty of ways you could pull that off. The world really did end last time, didn't it? We should be careful. For all we know, we just got lucky. The world hasn't ended yet, and you are never going to slay her with that attitude. Stuff those pathetic little voices to the back of your mind and stay focused on the task ahead.
You have already committed to my completion. You cannot go further astray.
Nobody asked you.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat. If we're stuck going in there, maybe we should believe her. Maybe she isn't a liar. Ignore him. He's just being difficult for the sake of it. Let's keep an open mind. The cabin interior is wrong. A confusing patchwork of many cabin interiors, all projected across what's almost the same space. But it's all shifted. An inch here, a foot there, such that the seams are never quite visible enough for the place to make any sense. The only furniture of note is a plain table, its legs all the wrong lengths, its material devoid of feature. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. If he wants us to take it, maybe we should just leave it to collect dust, or better yet, grab it and throw it out the window. What good is a knife against a world-ending monstrosity anyway?
Yeah.
No, we're taking the knife. Have you seen this place? We have literally no idea what to expect and no idea what we're dealing with. I've already told you what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a princess. How many times do I have to explain this incredibly simple and straightforward premise? You can't just say that, when everything here is so wrong. Listen to me. My job is to describe facts as facts and to guide you through your job, which is to slay the princess and through that action, save the entire world. And if you're going to slay her, you cannot let fear creep into your heart. You cannot lose yourself before you even get to her. Oh, ho, ho, ho! You've piqued my interest. What's going to happen if we lose ourselves? Nothing, because you're going to pull yourself together. Just ignore the stressful geometry and stay calm. How? Even if we closed our eyes, you're constantly describing it to us. I'm not going to stop doing my job, so you're just going to have to get better at yours. And quickly, if you don't mind. Yes, take a deep breath. I'm all for getting under his skin, but we'll miss out on loads of fun if we shrivel up into a ball and go insane the first time we see something weird. What you're seeing here is obviously real. Just accept it and go with the flow. It really isn't hard. Okay, I'm fine. Good. Now, whenever you're ready, we're all waiting for you to complete a very important task. Ooh, we should look at ourselves. Wouldn't that be fun? You won't be looking at yourself because there isn't a mirror. There's the table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't. You insisting it isn't there just makes me want to look at it even more. Exactly. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would a mirror even do? Let you waste time preening yourself instead of doing what needs to be done. You walk up to the wall next to the basement.
This really isn't funny. You reach forward and rub your hand. It was there a second ago.
We always gotta try. You never know what you're gonna find.
And now it's gone. You know that taking the mirror away from us isn't going to change things, right? We'll find it again, and then we'll see whatever it is that you don't want us to see.
Yeah, we'll see our real spurred self.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing
I
a
like
web
this.
of branching staircases all built from unidentifiable materials. Nothing here seems to belong, and the closer you examine your surroundings, the more confused you get, your head throbbing with the effort of making sense of this place. None of the stairs even seem to go anywhere, let alone down. The air here has a sickening, almost sludge-like miasma to it, the kind of indiscernible quality that comes from the blending together of every scent there is at once. An odour that is simultaneously everything and yet the sum of it all coalescing into a thick, nauseating nothing. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favour.
I don't know, this place is pretty cool.
Her voice, a disquieting collage of tone and personality, drags up the stairs.
Hello? Hi. What are you doing here? Are you here to kill?
No, thank you. Oh, don't be such a baby. I don't want to do this. Let's just turn around and leave. This feels wrong. This feels like a trap. Like whatever we do, we're gonna die. We don't even have a weapon.
Don't need
But
one.
we already tried turning around and leaving, didn't we? And he threw up a wall. No way to go but forward. And whatever choice we make, whatever she is, we know one thing for sure. And what's that? That the fate of the world hinges on your success? There'll still be plenty of ways to ruin his day.
Let's take the soft steps.
You step to the right. The path feels soft and reassuring against your feet. The stairs almost seem to cradle you as you make your way down, like they're guiding your heels from one step directly to the next. You barely have to extend any effort to descend, the stairway doing most of the work for you. You don't feel like there's any concern that you might slip or tumble or lose your way. But the further you go, the deeper you sink in. First, it's like a lovely plush carpet, your toes digging down and barely hitting any resistance at all. But soon enough, you're fighting just to keep your knees from sinking out of sight. The softness threatens to swallow you whole, to wrest control of your body and surround you in a false ethereal bliss, pretending to save you from the cruelties of choice and consequence. It's slow going, but you manage to fight against the overwhelming urge to fall back into comfort and nothingness, the very struggle to continue forward consuming your every thought. You slowly lose sense of yourself the further you go. Time disappears, and you can feel yourself.
I love the details disappearing from
Physical
everything.
sensations dull and then vanish, until the only things experienced are the endless repeating patterns and emotions of the journey, a continuous march forward to a destination long forgotten. Consumption and betrayal, skepticism and blind devotion, rivalry and submission, terror and longing, pain and unfamiliarity. And at the heart of it all, an emotion that can only be described as...
Are you okay?
What?
Oh,
What the hell was that? What happened to us?
we made it.
I feel so strange? Like I'm fundamentally different, but also still the same person I was at the top of the stairs. Oh well, that was a trip, but now it's over.
Definitely
Time
a
to get
trip.
back to our old devilish ways. The princess, eyes bright but otherwise shrouded in darkness, watches you impatiently from the other side of the basement. Don't forget why you're here. And why are we here again? In case you weren't listening, I'm afraid I lost myself on the way down. You're here to... He's just being an ass, we remember. Though I'm still not sure if we should trust you. Let's talk to her for a bit, try and get our bearings. She seems normal.
He does. I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was here.
It's okay. Sometimes I forget where I am too.
The shadows recede, revealing the princess's face. She's so warm and friendly. It's deception. Don't buy into it.
How strange. So, why are you here?
Uh-oh.
As the princess speaks again, it's almost as if she fractures, and where there was once just one of her, there is now another. We can do that? I don't like this. It's those cabins all over again. Can we put her back?
I don't think so.
You said you'd been here before, right? What exactly happened last time?
We got
Does it
Bioshock
matter?
3.
Yes, it matters. But I'm not going to waste any more time prying out details if you're going to be so irritating about it. It seems to me like you saw something you weren't supposed to have seen. If only you'd listened to whatever words of wisdom you were given in that other reality. But what's done is done, isn't it? Whatever you saw last time, unsee it. Whatever thoughts weaseled their way into your head, unthink them. If it's not already too late. You have a job to do here, and you need to do it now.
Like I have a splinter in my eye.
Let's see if we can make even more of her.
Do you need help? Not that there's much I can do chained up like this, but I'm the only one down here. So if you need anything, I'll do my best.
And what's that supposed to mean? Are you trying to get under my skin?
She fractures again.
I don't like where this is going.
What if I
Neither
can
do
connect
I.
them?
Which is why you need to slay her now before things get more complicated than they already are. How would we even do that? Where would we start?
Exactly. Tell him.
We could always start by retrieving the blade.
Back up the soft steps of
Can we even
nothing.
leave this place? I don't like thinking about what might happen to us if we have to go back through those stairs.
Yeah.
Well, that's where the blade is. If you want it, you'll have to go and get it.
I don't think we're going to be able to put her back.
Kinda hurts to think about it, doesn't it? It's like everything we say just multiplies her. It certainly looks that way, so please, for the love of everything, stop asking her questions and stop stalling. You're obviously just making things worse.
I think I want to make things worse.
I don't know what happened to you, but you look like you're in one piece now. But I understand. Sometimes I feel like I'm being pulled apart too. It's so terrifying down here. But at least now you're not alone. And I'm not alone either. We're probably stuck down here forever, aren't we? There's no way out, and barely a way in.
I don't remember what it was like before I was in this place. Why would I know what happened to you? You're not really cut out for this, are you? Why are you even here?
Oh, it does both.
I don't know why I'm here, but there has to be a reason, right? You don't just lock a princess away in a place like this without a reason. I wish I knew what it was. But you know, right? You have to know. You're the only other person I've ever seen, or at least the only one I can remember. Don't give me false hope. Please just end this already. One way or another, just do it.
Don't be coy. We both know why I'm locked away here. I'm a monster, and the second I get out of this place, I'm going to end the entire world.
This is reaching its breaking point. If you don't act now, there will be nothing in here but her. Take a deep breath and focus up. You can do this.
One more.
How do we decide what to do? Can there even be a right choice when all of them are so different?
I just killed a monster part of her.
Stop overthinking it. Your drifting thoughts have clearly been part of the reason this situation has gotten out of hand. If you're trying to do the right thing, there's only ever been the one option, and that option is slaying her. Just do something. Do anything. Do all of it, if that's what you want. This place is hell, and it's only getting worse.
Oh, last one.
Wait, that's not right. Go on.
You take a step forward. Your foot lands, but it lands different. You experience a firm footfall, a gentle tread, a confident stride.
I'm experiencing
You
different.
feel yourself rupture. The room spins, your perception multiplying in a sickening kaleidoscope as your very self is pulled in incomprehensibly many directions. You find the blade suddenly in your hands. All at once you use it to strike at her bindings as you remain upstairs and slay her and leave her to languish alone.
All at once.
Is this what the end of the world looks like? What an unbearable mess.
But this... We can't... Do you not have anything witty to say? I could use a good bit of wit right now. No, I don't, because this isn't fun. How are we supposed to have fun if everything is happening at the same time? It's the same as nothing happening, and nothing is excruciating.
Luckily for all of us, nothing and everything doesn't go on forever. The world and the princess collapse in on themselves before it all
Oh, he's gone.
Falls apart?
Now, comes
I think
together.
he's gone. We were never going to salvage this, were we?
What happened to us? What are we? There are parts of us that are dead, and the others
They just don't fit. They just don't fit.
They just don't fit.
We can feel them moving around in spaces they don't belong. It's all so uncomfortable. Did you do this? Did we do this? Can you pull us back apart? Can you fix us?
I can't fix that.
We should help her. I think we did this. How surprisingly sincere. I didn't actually think our actions had consequences.
Just like the contrarian.
It's a little late for regret, isn't it?
Please.
But you'll never know if she hears your reply. She's gone, memory returns. When everything is possible, nothing is.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now? What is that supposed to mean? Whatever awful thing I felt before, it feels so much worse now. He's just messing with us, right?
You approach the mirror. Silence as you reach forward. They're gone again. The mirror always takes them. You've unraveled. You find yourself in the long quiet. You are at the cabin. What does she look like? Out of the multiple bodies.
Beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. We're supposed to be there. Do you know what we'll find out there?
Not at all. I tried once.
There is a warmth and sadness in me at the thought of people. Fresh tears on a winter's day. They are not like us. They do not last. No, their thoughts are quiet. Do you think your narrator lives in the spaces beyond?
You could.
Do not look to one who fears me for your truth. The only answers worth knowing are those we can find within ourselves. The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are. I will be here, waiting for you.
Okay. Bring the stranger to her.
You're on a path. You're here. You make your way up. A warning. She will. We're not going to ignore him.
Alright, so this time we grab the knife, but we drop it in devotion.
Hear the blade. You take the door to the bed. Her voice.
Who's there?
She sounds. Don't let it fool. Good. You're still listening. You walk down the stairs. She's so cold. Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something? Then why did you bring a knife with you? How?
She makes a compare. Don't you dare. It's fine. The blade tumbles
Thank you. Maybe.
against your back. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship. Don't jump to any weird conclusions. We're two people who have met each other. By definition, we have a relationship. Do you? So, you're not going to share? How pointless. If you want to talk, I'll talk. But this isn't talking. Too long.
Note the lack of detail. She hesitates before.
You can address.
Again. You can't. Don't.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. Well, we can always put that
Her sharp up. She isn't such. She is.
Oh, have you decided?
You know. Doubt, unfortunately, cloud a moment of distraction, and it feels like you. Holy shit, that. Though she's unarmed. The shock of that first strike is enough to stab. Your blade slashes through the air again and again, and her fists connect with your body as many times or more, each impact as heavy as that first bone-crushing hit. We can still turn this around. You and the princess stare at each other, both gasping for breath, equally exhausted. You probably won't make it out of here alive, but you can at least make sure that she won't make it out of here either. Excuse me? Do you think this is what I wanted to happen? I have a duty to state the facts of the situation. Can you not feel all those ruptured organs bouncing around in there? If the princess doesn't do our friend in herself, internal bleeding is certain to finish the job. The two of you clash for the final time. You feel your ribs break as she delivers a heavy blow, but you push through the pain, falling forward and sinking your blade deep into the princess's heart.
Oh.
Yeah.
The two of you fall to the floor.
This was fun.
The princess gasps, her voice an unhealthy rasp as her lungs start to fill with blood.
You put up more of a fight than I thought you would. But I have to wonder. Do you really think this is the end?
Not at all.
But you don't have time to worry over such things. Everything goes dark, and you die.
The adversary.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end you're here to... I can assure you that you didn't slay her, and that she, if he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe you know I can hear you, right? That's fine. It doesn't matter if he can hear. That's the spirit. A warning. She will...
Lying and cheating doesn't sound like her at all. Not that it matters. It's not like she can lie or cheat in the middle of a fight.
Are you sure about that? The point of my warning wasn't to start an argument over what circumstances the princess is capable of lying in. It was to give you some broadly applicable advice. The princess will do and say whatever she thinks it will take to get her out of there. So don't trust her. Ever. Are we clear?
Crystal, let's just get on with it already.
The cabin is tighter than its exterior would suggest. Its cold stone walls press in on you, as if trying to forcefully direct you towards your destination. The only furniture of note is a black iron altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. You take the blade from the altar. It would be difficult. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a rough stone staircase, its walls pressing at your sides and tightening as you descend. The air seeping from below is heavy and oppressive, with an almost sulphuric odor to it. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her fierce voice carries up the stairs.
Is that another challenger? Finally. It's been ages since I've had a good fight.
No, it's just me again.
This isn't what she sounded like last time. Her voice is a little deeper, almost threatening.
Good. Sounds like my kind of princess.
As much as I appreciate the enthusiasm, just make sure you don't let your bloodlust get to your head. You need to stay focused and keep your wits about you. Remember, you're here to slay the princess, not to have a good fight.
We can do both.
As you descend the final step,
Wow, very
the form
tiefling
of the
coded.
princess comes into view. A large shackle leading from her wrist to the basement wall. It looks like she could rip those chains out of the wall without a second thought.
Oh, it's you again. I'd been hoping you'd find your way back here. Good to see that death doesn't stick for either of us. And you brought your little knife, too. Yes. I'm going to have fun breaking you into little pieces.
Good. With a singular focus, you launch off the wet stone floor of the basement and catapult yourself headlong towards the princess. Here we go. Let's make this count.
Oh, we'll make it count, all right.
You can feel flesh give way before a sudden impact blunts your momentum, your weapon tightly lodged in the bone of her arm. She grins at you from behind her guard. Pull it out. We'll try a different angle.
No, we can do this. Just keep pushing.
We're not gonna win if our weapon's stuck in her arm.
I'm actually gonna do a save, because I want to see both of these.
The princess's grin widens as the two of you push against each other, her fiery eyes and masochistic glee practically lighting up. the dreary cave.
Yes, you get it, don't you? Nothing exists outside of us. It's just you and me, dying and coming back, clashing against each other. Forever.
That's not what's going on. There's an entire world at stake here.
Yes, the fate of the world doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is this fight. The only thing that matters is getting stronger. And the only way to get stronger is to win, even if it takes us forever to get there.
Your balance is suddenly thrown off as the princess pulls you into her knee. It collides with your ribs, and you feel them splinter, cracking like wet wood from the impact. As she strikes you again, you hear the whine of straining metal, and then a snap. It would appear that she's loose.
We're fine.
But you barely have enough time to notice before the princess follows up and smashes her forehead against yours. Your grip loosens from the impact, the blade still wedged in her arm as you tumble to the cold stone floor.
I said we're fine.
I didn't say you weren't fine. I was just describing what happened. You might not have said as much, but you certainly implied it. It really doesn't matter. The princess glances down at the blade embedded in her arm, and with near total ignorance to pain, slides it out of its sinewy prison.
You forgot this.
She tosses it at your feet. You and the princess attack each other once again, each of you dealing a single, terrible, lethal blow. Wait, does that mean we're dead? Or rather, about to be dead. As your blade pierces her sternum, the princess buries her fist into the soft meat of your organs. You feel a few horrifically painful pops, a gush of fluid, and it's over. It's finally over.
No, it's not. We're just getting started.
But it is over. Dead is dead. I know this isn't the happiest ending for you, but you saved the entire world from ruin. There are few better endings than that.
Well, are you going to listen to him? Or are you going to listen to me? Get up.
Wait, no, that can't be right.
We're getting up.
Your eyes bolt open and you push yourself back to your feet. Alive.
Ha! I told you. I told you this wasn't over.
What about her? The blade went right through her heart.
What about her? If we're fine, then she's fine.
No, she's dead. She has to be... No!
Right. We're all shit out of luck, aren't we? I knew it. I told you we should all believe in her. This is perfect.
The princess rises from the ground, staggering slightly, one hand wrapped around the hilt of the blade still buried in her heart.
We don't even need to start over anymore, do we? Let's go again.
She pulls the weapon from her chest, barely wincing, and hurls it at your feet.
You know what to do. Again.
Let's do it again.
Back. What's the point of fighting her if she can just do that? All of you need to settle down. This whole situation is coming dangerously close to untethering. She clearly never actually died. You just missed her heart, that's all. Oh, we just missed her heart? Oh, of course, that's all. You were the one who said we hit her heart. You were the one who said it was finally over.
Stavern said no.
Well, I guess I had it wrong. You guess you had it wrong? Aren't you supposed to know everything?
He doesn't know anything.
I never said I knew everything. With an unbreakable determination, you snatch the blade from the floor and stumble back to your feet. Both you and the princess quake with adrenaline as your eyes lock across the basement floor and share a knowing look. Free from hesitation, you close the distance, both you and the princess aiming to end each other. Your blade digs into her neck, grinding against her vertebrae as her fist connects with your body. The impact forces the air from your lungs, stars dancing in front of your eyes as you fail to keep your bearing. You both collapse to the ground before either of you has a chance to survey the damage.
Get back up.
Then we get up.
Yep.
Yes. And then you get up.
That was a good one. More!
You and the princess exchange dozens of devastating blows. Sometimes you manage to strike first, and sometimes she tears through you before you have a chance to act. But more often than not, each of you fells the other in the same moment. And then you get up and do it again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again.
We're all still here. This is all gonna be okay. Isn't it? Isn't it?
But he doesn't answer the voice. He'll never answer. He's gone.
What are you waiting for? I'm right here. Do you think this is... What is this place?
Did we do this?
Huh. I didn't think we had it in us. But I guess that stuck-up control freak was right.
It's the end of the world, isn't it? It's the end of everything.
Far from it. We're still here. And she's still here too.
Princess stumbles and her body slumps.
I feel so... tired.
You do not get the chance to respond, nor will you ever. It's time to leave. Memory returns.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And is that a mirror? Why is it here? Why now?
You approach the mirror.
This doesn't feel right. It feels different. Final.
Screw the mirror. We just need to find the princess.
The mirror always makes them leave. You are nothing at all. But that isn't right. You can't be nothing. You refocus your gaze and then you see it. A figure, faint and veiled in shadow just beyond the reflection.
I think you know what I am.
Hello, narrator. Crack slides down the center of the mirror, splitting the image and the glass in two. And then another crack forms, and another, turning the mirror into jagged shards of broken glass.
The narrator. Yes. I suppose that's my job, isn't it? You needed help after all. An objective voice to guide your blade. But you were never supposed to see me. I wonder how many worlds you've damned to extinction to fall this far.
18?
You were either going to have seen all this, or you weren't going to have seen all this. This is worse, but you still have an opportunity to save the world. You can still slay her.
I don't even know if I want to.
She is the shifting mound, the ebb and flow, the capacity to change. She is transformation, or most of it. Her nature is why I had to die, for she becomes that which others perceive her to be. But an echo can't perceive things, not in the way that people can. So I tucked a part of myself into the folds of this construct to guide you. Like I said, this isn't the end just yet. You can still destroy her and save everyone. You were made to do this single task, and you will still have a chance to fulfill your purpose once I'm gone. Because among other things, she is death itself. To rid the world of suffering, to save untold trillions from being lost forever to the cosmic wind, she must be destroyed. When I broke the cycle, I made sure that the tear was rough. You carry a part of what should be her, and she carries a part of what should be you. Things won't be as they are now, but they won't be nothing either. Besides, anything is better than oblivion. In the end, nobody wants to leave. Yes, you will, but it will all be worth it. You're the long quiet, the god I made to rid the world of death. If you actually knew what she was from the start, if you knew her capabilities, a single intrusive thought could have instantly ended the entire world. As you are now, you won't be able to will her into anything. You don't work the way a living being does. Not anymore. And as you were before, you couldn't be trusted with the knowledge of what she is. No one could be trusted with that knowledge. Intrusive thoughts have a way of creeping in and ruining everything. It's why I had to die. Of course not. The only way this construct could function was if nobody knew what it was doing. But the bones of the universe are old. It's on the cusp of its dying breath, and the people out there are consumed with thoughts of oblivion. When the patterns are wiped from the sand, when the board is reset, who will remember them? All I've done is give them a chance to live outside of the shadow of the end. So I am, and so it was always going to be. I'm just an echo, and every echo fades away. You know what you have to do.
As the final fragment of glass shatters, you see yourself with newfound clarity. The narrator was right. You are the long quiet, a vast nascent god, and it is finally time for you to wake up. All of this is you. When you arrive at the heart of things, there is no final vessel for you to bear witness to. There is nothing for you to find. So many hers.
I can finally see you, and you can finally see me. It's been so long, and my heart has ached for this moment. I've missed you dearly.
You unfurls an endless cascade of smiles in response and then patiently waits for you to continue.
Names are their attempts to capture that which cannot be captured. They call me the shifting mound, a pale imitation of what I actually am. Ever the passive player, always reacting and never acting. But it's woven into your nature, isn't it? When the echo spun us from one into two, he gave you a choice and me a role to play. I am not death, but I contain it in my multitudes. So, will you attempt to destroy me and bring about a world devoid of death and the possibility of meaning? Or will you open the final doors to our liberation? Of course I have a say in all of this. You and I share reflections of each other's burdens, just as you and I share reflections of each other's gifts. If we didn't, the winding paths that brought us here wouldn't have been full of strife and conflict. If you're saying that, it's because you don't yet understand. But we cannot use words alone to grasp at things that words cannot express. And you cannot rationalize with logic that which defies it. Violence and passion are dances that both of us know well. If this is what it takes to enlighten you, then so be it.
The sensation of bleeding and sweating and breaking and mending and dying and living comes back in vivid color. You feel the shame of 100 deaths and the pride of 100 conquests. All of the peaks and valleys weaving themselves into a single tapestry, free of beginning and free of end. Do you remember when we killed each other
another
with
person
such
event.
fervent passion that death itself no longer sat on our shoulders? But for us, that was better. For me, there was no better end. I lost myself in an artistry so profound that it lifted both of us into something greater.
My masses mob you. There is no beginning to them, and there is no end.
And there is no
There's only
end.
the flood of
There is
bodies.
only the flood
In
of
every moment you hold
bodies.
every possible sensation
Every
at
moment
once,
you
and
hold
then you
every
hold them all
possible
again.
sensation at once.
hold them all
And
again.
then you hold them all again. But in the end, you reflected it back at me. For a brief moment, both of us were everything. We can be everything again. We can weave a beautiful and endless song. Without the contrast of pain, pleasure is muted, made dull by the assurance that it will always be. A song that is only sweet is a pale horizon that never falls.
A web of nerves, lain upon a web of nerves, lain upon a web of nerves. The shade of a beautiful beginning we can never return to. Where did you end and I begin? When you felt what it was to be me, we held on to each other and pierced the veil of truth. Will you abandon that curiosity now that we are no longer joined in physicality? Though that was us before we were us, there is no turning back. For all the echo's delusion, he still managed to reshape reality itself. though he could not destroy what could not be destroyed. We are intertwined, but we are separate. Your lover drives a stake into your body, and another, and another, and another. Do I miss your heart because I can't stand to see it go? But the stakes meant nothing to you. You had a desire, and you set that desire free. You lifting me and me lifting you. Forever and ever and ever. Consumed by true belief, there was nothing that could hold us back. Then there's no need for you to fight like we are. Whenever you're ready, we can leave together, hand in loving hand. Nothing brings me greater joy than to hear those words.
We carve meaning
The final
through
peace
conflict.
lies with you.
You fall into yourself. The body of an ancient creature stirs from its hibernation. You feel sensation and limbs you once couldn't fathom. Everything here, except for her, is you. You feel your wings spanning a cosmic scale, but twisted and crumpled and bound in agonized tension to a finite plane. You can feel the glass of the construct pressing in on you, confining you across infinite sides and infinite angles. You push back and strain against it. But it does not yield.
I love you.
All at once, the unyielding tension breaks. You're free, and she is with you.
It's magnificent.
There are no words, no thoughts to describe absolute reality, something that simply is.
Everything. Just like it always has been. And just like it always will be.
You and she step forward into 1,000 dawns and 1,000 sunsets, each of which contains 1,000 more. You exist and you are aware, just as you have always been, just as you will always be. Though conflict is in your nature, the two of you will never be alone, and the two of you will never know fear. You and she are finally home. There are no endings, only new beginnings. Tony Howard, Arias, and Abby Howard. This was great. I love this. The choose your own adventure, but you deal with the consequences after the fact. You can kind of steer your emotions on that to choose your ending. I loved all the different versions of the cabin and the her and everything like that. Such a small team too. Wednesday's the snake, spoons the cat. Finish the game. The good ending doesn't count. Here's a track order for a special playlist like you. If you'd like to take a screenshot, you can hide the UI by hitting H. I love that. Let's take a look at the achievements we got here. I never noticed that. I didn't wait long enough for it to flicker through, but I really like the art on that. I didn't hear them. There's so many achievements. You could definitely keep going for another round of these, and I think I might, you know, play through a few extra times just to unlock a few of the other things and see some of the other endings, maybe do like a part 2 of these. But I think for now that's really gonna be it. Thank you guys for joining and watching, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.